Yo, 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 what is going on, guys? Joey Sherlock is back here with another video for you guys. And guys, we are here to talk about the game that wrapped up last night between the Ravens and the Dolphins. Doing it a day later today because it got a little bit too late last night to do it. So here we are. Wow. First off, congrats to the Dolphins fans. Congrats to the Dolphins in general. Totally outcoached us, totally outplayed us, totally deserved the win. I mean, I don't think they played particularly well, especially on offense, but they played better than us. They were the better team in that game, and they got the win. So congrats to the Dolphins, and good luck going forward. Geez, yeah. We just played poorly. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. We just played totally poorly. I know, the short week on the road, it's really a really tough ask. Plus, you got all the injuries. It's a tough ask. I get it. But it still does not excuse what happened last night. I mean, geez, last night was just a train wreck. I mean, I guess the one positive, like, our defense kind of played well, I guess. But then, like, those two just blown coverages. I mean, that's not even a coverage thing. That's just a communication thing. I mean, what is that? Those two big plays. One was to Jalen Waddle. I think the other was to Albert Wilson, was it? Or maybe both were to Waddle. But anyways, there were two plays where they were just wide open, screaming down the sideline. No one went with them. Two big miscommunications, which led to big plays. The Dolphins did not let us get away with it, and it really put us in our place. So besides that, and I know this sounds pretty crazy, but besides that, our defense actually played really well. Yes, it was the Dolphins' offense, but our defense played pretty well, so I'll give us that. But those two blown coverages, that's just inexcusable. And again, we're going to spend a lot of time on the offense today, don't you worry. So yeah, defense played solid except for those two blown coverages. Could have been better, but definitely could have been worse. It was definitely one of our better defensive performances, but wasn't enough, and our offense was not there to back them up. And then, of course, it's not a Ravens game without someone getting hurt. Tavon Young, the guy who just cannot stay healthy, left with a foot injury. He didn't return. I think it's just a minor thing as far as I know. But Jesus, man, these injuries are just off the charts. And Tavon Young, I'm already really nervous because you know him. He has such a hard time staying healthy. So prayers up for Tavon Young, and hopefully he's just fine. Besides that, dare I jinx anything? I think the Ravens made it out healthy. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think the Ravens made it out pretty healthy. So, offensively, one of our worst performances in a long time. It really gave me the flashbacks to the Bills divisional round game where our offensive line just gets overwhelmed. Then again, the Bills destroy us with a four-man front pressure. The Dolphins were just blitzing like every single play. It was like the Don Martindale defense, but even elevated from that. They were blitzing every single play and showing pressure all the time. Sometimes they dropped out, but for the most part, they brought the heat, and it worked. We cannot read a blitz. We could not read the blitz. And almost every single time they blitzed, Jackson got sacked. Jackson got sacked a lot, and almost all of those were on blitzes. Maybe even all of them were on blitzes. I mean, come on. Like, that's on the coaching, though. Like, when you see that and they keep doing it, you gotta find something. You gotta at least work on a counter to the blitz. You can't just pray that they're gonna stop blitzing just because you don't want them to blitz. Like, they kept blitzing, and we just didn't even try. It's almost like we didn't even try to show an answer for it. We didn't change anything up. We didn't run anything new. It was just like we were just letting them blitz every time. We weren't picking them up. It's like we weren't even trying to adapt to them. And that's what really frustrated me. It's almost as if we weren't even trying. So yeah, really rough game for Greg Roman, offensive coordinator. I didn't like the plays he was calling at all. I've always been for us running more screens. I think they're good, but they clearly weren't working last night, and he literally kept running them against the blitz. I understand, blitzes, screens can actually be really effective, but not last night. Last night, the screens were not really working. We got a couple nice gains out of the screens, but in general, the screens did not work. He kept running that same screen to Brown, and it simply wasn't working. He kept going back to it. I don't know why. It never really worked. And then the offensive line definitely was not great. I mean, again, pretty much all of the Dolphins' sacks were on blitzes, and I understand the line. It's only 5 guys, so if they blitz, someone else has to pick them up. But definitely not the best performance from the line. Run blocking wasn't great. It got off to a solid start, and then it kind of got worse, I think, as the game went on. So that's not good. And then receivers. So Brown didn't do much. He was pretty quiet. Bateman, though, did pretty well. That's one of the very rare positives coming out of last night's game. Really, really getting excited about Rashad Bateman. He's flashed in every single game thus far. He has not been silent at all. He's been making plays. He's got great hands. I love the attitude that he has. He's cocky, but he's not like a jerk. He's just like, really confident in himself, and I think he does a great job of bringing the energy to the team, especially the wide receiver core, because we need that. We need that motivation, so really, really happy with what I've seen from Rashad Bateman so far. I think he has all the potential in the world, and I can't wait to see what the future brings us. So, that's cool. And then Sammy Watkins, coming off his first game back from the hamstring injury, and boy, it is not a game he's gonna want to remember for a while. He was pretty bad last night. I mean, the first drive, that was one of the weirdest plays ever. It's 3rd down. We're at the Dolphins, 30 maybe? It's a blitz. What's new? Dolphins blitzing. They literally blitzed like every play last night. Jackson flung it into the end zone. Watkins had a step, and then I guess he just kind of ran out of room, but he kind of stopped and didn't really make an effort for it. I guess he just must have. I don't think he realized that the ball was that close. My understanding is he thought the ball was way over his head and out of play, but it wasn't. That was a catchable ball. He just totally misplayed it, so that wasn't good. But to make matters significantly worse, that fumble that he had late in the game, it was a slant route. We beat the blitz for a change. Beat the blitz. Watkins had it. Then he just fumbles. I mean, it was close, and there was discussion on whether or not it was an incompletion or a fumble. Regardless, he had it, and then the ball came out, and it was ruled a fumble. I think by rule it was a fumble, and they returned it all the way back. It was just a disaster. So yeah, Watkins, pretty bad first game back, but I'm not gonna freak out. Okay, first game back from an injury. He's been good with us up until then, so I'm not worried. I think he'll be just fine. Yeah, the fan base is overreacting. Watkins had one bad game. Besides that, he's been pretty good. I'm sure he'll adapt just fine. It's weird. The Ravens players who are pretty good seem to have this one game wonder thing where they're good, and then just one game they are absolutely awful. Anthony Averett, Marlon Humphrey, and then Sammy Watkins last night. So that's not good for Watkins' standpoint, but again, I think he'll be okay. And then just the blitzing. That's my biggest concern. Now teams are going to be like, oh, God, this is how we figured out Lamar Jackson. This is what you do. You blitz him. And I honestly have been saying that for a long time. I've always thought blitzing Jackson is the way to go. He doesn't seem to read a blitz very well, and I think it puts a lot of pressure on the receivers as well. So I do think blitzing Jackson is a good idea. But my biggest concern last night is, again, we did not make an effort to slow down the blitz. We were just letting them come through every time. We kept running gun empty against the blitz. Now, I guess in a sense, gun empty is good because it can really pick apart the blitz because you got at least 5 guys coming, and then you have five wide, as they call it, gun empty. So in a way, it's good. But you gotta do the quick throws. We were sending guys deep way too much. Jackson wasn't getting it out of his hands quick enough. We weren't running the correct routes. I don't know. There was just so much wrong. We just played so poorly last night, especially on offense, that I don't even know what to say. Again, I know the short week on the road, but come on, man. That was just awful. And in a sense, I'm glad we didn't pull off another wild comeback because we didn't deserve it. With what has transpired in that game, we didn't deserve the win at all. Yes, you could have said the same thing about the Colts game, but even that was a bit different. This game we simply did not deserve at all. The Dolphins gave us some chances. We didn't take them, and we kind of handed them the game. Yeah. So it's just no, not good at all. One thing that I do like to see though after the game, of course, you wonder, oh my God, what are they going to say in the press conferences? There is accountability going on. Jackson's blaming himself. Harbaugh's blaming himself, which I'm glad, because I think something that's flying under the radar here. Actually, maybe not so much flying under the radar, but the playing and the players did not do well. But the bigger problem was the coaching last night. I thought the coaching was really, really bad. I mean, at least on offense, the play calling was awful, and just the designs. Like, I still am not unclear. We didn't make any adjustments to the blitz. We just kept letting them come unblocked, and we're just asking for trouble. We didn't even try to adapt to the blitz. I don't know why. It made no sense, and it came back to bite us big time. So, yeah. And, I'm trying to look beyond the fact that we lost to the freaking Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins, like, come on, dude. They had a 7-game losing streak, had snapped it when winning to the Texans, but the Dolphins were horrible, and yet they kind of kicked our ass. So I'm trying to look beyond that, and I'm trying to just dig into the biggest issues that we have. And yeah, I mean, maybe teams are going to start blitzing us more. And the Bears, they have a great pass rush as it is, but if you add in the blitz, look out. So again, I'm not going to worry about that right now, but if teams start to blitz us more, which I think they will, I think they might try out new things. We got to adapt, and we didn't adapt last night. Hopefully, we can find some counters to the blitz and learn how to pick them up, because we got to pick up blitzes if we want to have a real passing game and running game. But blitzes on rundowns are not the most common, unless it's like you're down and you need to stop or something, and it's an obvious rundown. But anyways, that's besides the point. Got to adapt to the blitz. That's my biggest concern. And I think a bigger concern going down, and again, people are freaking out, or immature Ravens fans saying, oh, dang the season, oh, it's over, this is where the Ravens choke, this is where the Ravens choke. And one thing I will say, that for this year does seem dangerously similar to last year. We start off hot, we lose one game, but then we win another one. We're 6-2. Then we go on the road and play a team that's very beatable, that we are favored to win, that we should win. I'm talking about the Patriots game last year. We were 6-2 going in, and we were favored to win that game. I actually was one of the rare people who called the loss. I expected us to lose, but regardless, we were favored to win. We didn't. This game, we were favored to win by much more. We didn't. And then after that, we went on a considerable downfall. Lost to the Titans in that overtime game. Lost to the Steelers with our backup practice squad. But then we went on a hot streak to end the year. So, I mean, I guess last year was good and bad. But people are freaking out a little bit too much. I will say, it is weird how similar these 2 years have been so far. They've been dangerously similar. But, it is what it is. And I still don't see us missing the playoffs with Lamar Jackson. I really don't. I still think the Ravens are going to go. I think we're going to finish 11-6 probably. But again, as I was getting back to what I was saying originally, my biggest concerns going forward, or biggest concern I should say, is the strength of schedule. We have maybe the toughest schedule in the league to finish off the year. Our game against the Bears next weekend, that's probably the easiest game we have left. Then we have to play Pittsburgh twice. We have to play Cleveland twice. We have to play Cincinnati in Cincinnati. And we have to play LA. And we have to play Green Bay, LA Rams. And we have to play the Packers. Wow, man, that is a really tough stretch. So the rest of the season for the Ravens is going to be very eventful, and it's going to be a grind. It's going to be tough. So I gotta hope the Ravens get as healthy as possible. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know who's going to come back. I think Boyle is going to come back, thankfully. I thought he was going to play last night. He didn't, but he should be back for the Bears to make his debut. And then, so Boyle comes back. That's great. Can really help the running game. And then I hope Derek Wolfe, but I'm really losing hope in him. He keeps getting pushed back. There's no timeline set on him, and it's very, very flaky. But we'll see what happens. Guys, I'm still staying positive. I still think we're a great team. I think this was just a really bad game. I think we got pretty exposed. We played poorly. There's no way around it. We played poorly last night. But I do think that there's a lot of room for improvement. We still have good coaching, even after a rough game. And I think we'll be able to adapt well and can finish the year on a good note. It's going to be challenging. We're going to have more adversity ahead of us, but I definitely think we know how to overcome it and we know how to face it. So, guys, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I am out. Peace out. Have a great night. Happy Friday. Go Ravens, and I will see you tomorrow night for my game picks on the rest of the week.